I'm Julia. Welcome back to my booktube channel and big library. Today is the night of January 26th, and the book that I'm going to be reading for this video, To Ride a Rising Storm by Moniquill Blackgoose, comes out tomorrow, but since I pre-ordered it on Kobo, I got the ebook tonight. So just a little bit here, I'm going to get ready for bed and then sit and read in bed and get through the first few pages, hopefully. I first read To Shape a Dragon's Breath, the first book in the series, back in November 2024, and I really enjoyed it. And so in this book, we're going to see Moniquill and her dragon, Kasqua, I think her name is. I believe that she returns home for her first summer, back to her home island, and I know that there's going to be further development of the relationship with her two love interests, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And there was a kind of explosive ending to the last book, and it happened very suddenly, so I think we're going to see some fallout of that, and probably it's going to be, I'm guessing, summer after year one, beginning to middle of year two is my guess, and then book 3 might be the rest of year 2. That's how the Morgan Crow series did it, so. But this is one of my most anticipated books of the year. Glad that it came out at the beginning of the year, so I get to enjoy it right away. And I'm gonna get started on this, and I'll update you when I'm 33% of the way through and let you know my thoughts so far. I just got home from work and I'm now over a third of the way through To Ride a Rising Storm. I'm actually 40% of the way through. I was reading it at work and I was just having such a good time, I couldn't stop. But I'm loving this so much. I think it's one of those rare cases where I maybe will like the sequel more than the first book because we're building on so much that was introduced in the first book and really developing characters, and I just appreciate so much already understanding and knowing this world and then getting to see even more of it. So as predicted, we spent a good first chunk of the book with Moniquill on her island in the summertime with her family, and one of her love interests, Theod, who is from a neighboring island but was raised by the English, the colonizers. They've told each other that they're in love, but Theod is really having a hard time because he was raised with all of these like repressive ideas about sex, and Moniquill is like, I just want to kiss you, could we just kiss please? And he is dealing with all this stuff, and Moniquill also told him that she is in love with Liberty, a girl who works at their school, and so Theod is having to process all of that, and I think that is definitely going to be a central tension of the book. But a big outside tension is all of the political ramifications of things that happened in the first book with colonizer racism against the native people. The neighboring island has a large settlement on it of white people, and the natives are underrepresented, and then there is now a guard posted on Moniquill's island, which is a new development in this book. And because she and Theod are native and have dragons, there's a lot of kerfuffle about that. The English don't really know what to do with that, and they're worried that maybe rightly, Moniquill and Theod might use their dragons to uprise against the English. But we've gotten to school, we've met some new characters. There's a new girl starting in year 1, so she's a year below Moniquill, and Moniquill met her at a party. She's actually like Polish and Jewish, it seems like. Oh, I also gotta shout out, there's a character in here that is basically Tom Bombadil, but a dragon rider, and I'm obsessed with him. I hope he comes back, because he fucking ruled. I really love, and I'm sure this was present in the first book, I think it's even more present in To Ride a Rising Storm, how confident and self-assured Moniquill is. She is so certain of her place in the world. She really doesn't have a lot of doubts about what is right or proper. She's like, I know how to be an adult, and everyone around me is being immature and silly and repressed, and I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. And she doesn't concede to anything that she doesn't need to. She's still a 16-year-old, but she is so incredibly self-assured, which is backed up by her family and her traditions and her culture and all of that belief in her and her belief in it that really, I think, is able to give her this confidence. And she knows that she doesn't need to stay at this school. She just needs to know enough that she can control her dragon, and then she's going to leave. She's not interested in participating in this society. So I'm immensely enjoying this. Can't wait to get back to it, and I'll let you know when I'm 2/3 of the way through. It's only a few hours later. I actually read over again. I'm at 70% now, so I read a good 30% in one sitting, but I'm just enjoying this so much. It's quite similar to the first book, I would say, in pacing and not necessarily subject matter, but just it's still a school book. So I think that people who are expecting more dragon writing and less everyday kind of slice of life stuff in the first book, that is still very much the focus of this book here. We're having paragraph long explanations in class, and of course has some new teachers that she's getting to know. And we're actually seeing more in this section of other characters challenging Anarchus just about her ideas of what her future is going to be like and how she doesn't want to follow the rules. She wants to go live back at her home island, and then other characters around her, even characters that she doesn't always agree with, saying, your life is never going to be the same. You're a native dragon rider. There's always going to be eyes on you. And her girlfriend Liberty is like, we can't get married. They will take your dragon away if they think you are immoral. So we can be in a relationship, that's great, but it can't be out in the open because that would be very bad for you. And I think her just kind of growing up and having these conversations and realizing that unfortunately she can't necessarily continue on as she did before she had a dragon, since her life is forever changed. There's a plot going on with this secret society that asked her to join, and they're very, young men who've just read Marx for the first time. Not that there's Marx in this world, but that equivalent of reading philosophy and saying that they're about equality between people, but then only having white males in their group and being so affronted when Anarchus is like, well, are you gonna allow servants or my black friend to join the group because you say you're about equality? And so that's kind of an ongoing thing. She is finally starting to ride her dragon. The dragon, Kasakwa, is still not large enough to fly while she's riding her. And she also had to have a special saddle made because Kasakwa is so different and differently proportioned from other dragons. But she is starting to be able to ride her over land, at least. And at 70% of the way through, I am not sure what the climax of the book is going to be. I suspect that like the first book, it may come just at the end, but really the focus is on the schooling and Anakus's relationships and her development as a person and her relationship with her dragon, all the things that I love from the first book, but I think that things that don't always gel with people, which is totally fine. It's more of the same, and I'm really enjoying that. So I'll be back with a final update and my final thoughts on the book when I'm totally finished with it. I just got back from a queer silent book club event, so it's a little bit late right now, but earlier today I did finish To Ride a Rising Storm. I keep holding this up just kind of as a prop. The book lives on here, but you can't actually see the cover, so I'm gonna put this down now. And yeah, I continued to really like it. As I predicted, there was a climax that came very close to the end of the book, and I think I would have liked to see it go on a little bit longer or take up more of the book. It was very like explosive, exciting kind of series changing couple of scenes, and I don't know if they're going to be explored at the beginning of the next book, but just for the sake of this book, I would have liked to see more from that. And there is a event that happens before that around 75% of the way through the book that is very upsetting for all of the characters, that kind of foreshadows what the climax of the book is going to be. So I did feel that there was more build up than in the first one. But overall, I mean, I hate to make a Harry Potter comparison, but it is reminding me a lot of the early Harry Potter books, or any school book really, where each year is covered by a different book and we're just getting the classes and the interpersonal drama. I think that there were some threads that got unresolved, and I don't want to make a final judgment on those until the series is over, but there were a lot of things that got brought up and characters that got brought up that didn't necessarily have a resolution, but I'm, again, waiting to see if those are going to get resolved or talked about more in the next book, which I'm sure they will be. There was a character that was introduced that I'm not going to spoil, but I'm very excited about them and their implications for Onikos and Theod, and definitely a welcome person to have in the plot, I'll say that much. And yeah, overall in this book, we definitely get to see Onikos be an extremely strong character, as she has been, but then also be challenged by people and have her opinions change and have her question her own opinions and thoughts in a way that I think is very healthy and natural. And she's listening to the people around her, especially Liberty, who I think was underutilized in this book. I would have liked to see her more in it. We definitely focused more on Theod, so maybe she'll be in it more in the next book. But Liberty especially challenges some of Onikos's assumptions and understandings of the world, which I think is very good and does not diminish their relationship. I am going to give this book 4.5 stars. It's almost a 5. I think that if that climax had been longer and if some of the plot threads had been wrapped up more, or if we'd just focused in on some of the plot threads more, it would have been a 5-star. But again, really high rating, one of the favorite books that I read this month. And now I have to wait several more years probably until the next book gets announced and released. This always happens when you're so excited for a book to come out and you finish it in a few days, you're like, all right, when's the next one? Which I guess is why some people don't like to start series that are not finished, but I like to enjoy things when I can. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos on my channel. And I will see you all next week with another video.